A lot of people love zero DTE options. I mean, I could see the attraction to it. You can trade more frequently. It allows you to compound things faster. You get results also quicker to allow you to evaluate what you're doing. And then you can make modifications if you are tracking those things. So zero DTE does have quite a few advantages, and more so beyond even what I just mentioned. However, as people get into zero DTE, they wonder, can I adjust and tweak my Iron Condor strategies as I do zero DTE? Well, let's break it down here in today's video. We're going to go in and check it out. Now, if you're brand new here, I'm Sasha, the options coach, and I've been teaching people to trade options over the last decade. We got a lot of classes that I do, courses, and we've got a few books. So anyways, these are some of the recent classes we've been doing, so you can always check out our website. All right, let's get started with first taking a look at Iron Condor trades, at the way they are constructed in general, and we'll break it down a little bit for zero DTE. Now with zero DTE, a lot of people are focused on the SPX. You could do SPY, but you got assignment risks. XSP is a little bit lighter, so it's 1/10 the size of SPX. So those are typically the vehicles. But when we do an Iron Condor, most people are going in with an Iron Condor, something like this, where you might risk, let's say, $800 to maybe make $200. So the risk to reward is not always the greatest, but what you do have is a high probability of success. So you have kind of a T+0 line right here. You have a high chance of success where, depending on the structure of the trade, you might have anywhere between, let's say, a 75% to maybe a 95% chance of winning that trade or at expiration. Now, the thing with zero DTE is we do have a faster gamma curve. Now, what that really means when you hear that is we have this kind of acceleration on these lines that's a little bit faster, which means as prices move, you get whipped around a lot quicker, rather than maybe a 40-day. You have a much flatter T+0 line, which is really the more important line that you want to focus on. And what happens in these trades is that when people are looking to tweak and adjust and modify them, they're usually things are happening against them. So if we go to an Iron Condor trade, something along this line right here, and we set up a price point here, and then price starts moving against us. Let's say price starts moving to the upside. Now, the issue is we have a losing side on this side, but we actually have a winner on one side over here. When it comes to zero DTE, what's happening is that you get a lot of that gamma risk that's going against you. And in a lot of cases, there's not always room to adjust within the trade. Unlike a 30, 40-day Iron Condor, where you have room, you have multiple days, there's more premium also involved in it. With zero day, the adjustment actually can come more on the next cycle of trades, or even putting on a new trade. So you can obviously, in a 40-day trade, let's just take a peek on a longer term trade. When a trade is going against you here, that's a bad Iron Condor. When a trade is kind of going against you, let's say we've got this Iron Condor, we've got this curve, and we're losing on this side. What you can do is take off the losing side and kind of shift it a little bit, and now you get this new side over here, giving you range and time for the stock to go back in its favor. The problem with a 0-day Iron Condor is that when it's over here, you don't have a lot of room, because in that day, that momentum's already moving in this direction. It could reverse towards the end of the day. It is possible, but now you don't have a lot of time right here. There's not a lot of salvage value, where if you're outside the range, this thing can go all the way to your max loss. So it becomes a little bit threatening. Whereas on a 40-day, a 30-day, a 25-day, when you go against here, you have multiple days where, hey, the next day, that could be a negative day and it could come back into your favor. So you've got a lot more wiggle room to actually make tweaks and adjustments. In a 0-day, the better alternative I find for most people, again, it varies from person to person. You can tweak and modify this to your own liking, but the better alternative is actually looking at the next round or cycle in order to make the adjustment. Now, what do I mean by that? Is when we actually look at trades and we look at winning trades and looking at scenarios and setups, here's what happens is that when you go in and you do a 0 DTE trade, and these 0 DTE trades, we're looking at it in terms of, hey, this day 1, then I got day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Okay, so what you can actually do is, if you size it properly, and we look at just the number of occurrences, okay, if we've got $200 we're trying to make on each one of these, Okay, so we're trying to make $200, but in this case, it's starting to go against us. Well, we might actually not make the full 200. On each side, let's assume we're making $100. So we're making 100 on the left, 100 on the right, or 100 on the put side, 100 on the call side. Well, in this case, if we lose 150 or 180 on the call side, okay, but we make $100 on the put side, well, we're still down $80 in total for, let's say, this one day. So the adjustment in some cases would be better off to make on day 5 on that next trade. Now, could you still go in day 4? Yes, you can, but it depends how much time you have left, because if you have very little time left, you might make it actually on the put side and sell more put contracts to try and, hey, get the winning side to keep winning. But if you keep running out of space or time in this case, you don't have the range, because as that zero DTE trade keeps running and running throughout the day, what you end up having is very little premium towards the mid or end of the day. So there's not a lot of room for adjusting. The adjustment actually can come on day 5 and day 6. So if we start thinking in those occurrences, where on day 5, instead of putting on a $200 trade, I could actually put on a $220 trade or a $240 trade. And then if I win, it chips away $40 off of the $80 that I lost. Then on day 6, I could do another $240 trade and chips up another $80 over here. Now, this, of course, assumes that I win both of them. I may not. I may only win 200 on this one because you take it off early. Then again, I do another $240 and I might not win the full 240. I might win 210, or maybe I lose. But the point is that you keep chipping away at those losses, because the adjustment then happens on the next cycles or the next rounds. I find that is more peaceful when it comes to zero DTE trading than actually looking at, trying to make the adjustment the day of, because with zero day, you actually have a lot of cycles. You have a lot more rounds. In a 30-day trade, you see what happens is if we go to a 30-day iron condor, we kind of plop on this one iron condor, and you might say, okay, well, I might put $10,000 on it because I've got this bigger trade. There's a lot more room. There's flexibility, and things can whip around, and you've got chances for this thing to modify and tweak, because there's actually more premium involved in the profit potential usually. However, in a 0 day, you're usually getting a much smaller profit compared to a 30-day. But what happens with the 0 days, I can actually do this 30 times. Well, technically 20 trading days in a month. So I could do it 20 times relative to this one, where I'm in a 30-day trade and the money's locked up. In a 0 day, yes, the money cycles, and that's really nice, but I can repeat it. So I don't actually need to risk as much capital. But that's one of the things people do, is they risk a great amount of capital, almost similar to what a 30-day is. And that's where they get a little bit blown up. So instead, rather than looking at it from an adjustment the day of, because people are thinking, I need to make money that same day, or just like a job, I need to make money every single day. Instead, you could look at it in cycles and rounds that, hey, on a 0 day, I've got so many trades going that by day 7, day 8, if I'm losing on day 5, by day 8, I could actually be paying off that day 4 loss or something like that. So it may take multiple cycles or rounds to be able to do that. Now, if you want to budget for something like this, you could actually put in buffer days, where if you're doing a 0 day trading, so let's say I've got a 0 DTE trade book, and let's say day 1 through 4, okay, day 1 through 4, you go in and you aim to make your $200, and day 4 is actually a cushion or kind of like a float week, where you're making up losses, or you're buffering a number of, we'll just call it like your piggy bank or wallet, where you add in money and capital for when a trade loses, okay, you're able to pay that off. Because if you lose on day 5, okay, you can take part of that money and help the loser. So you kind of say, okay, well, that day is going to be my extra work week to be able to pay off those losers. It's kind of like having like a little bit of a piggy bank in here, capital that you can go in and use as a floater week or as a payoff week, or anytime where even if you lose, let's say $80, you can say, well, hey, on that 4th day, if I'm saving, $110, I can use that to pay that off, and that way it scratches those trades off. Anyways, it's just a mental game that you can play with yourself, where you go in and play this financial compartmentalizing items of money in one spot or the other. And it's like, hey, that money I'm not counting as much into my revenue or earnings is for those expenses or for the losses. And that's how you can play that game and give yourself a little bit of an edge. So build up a little bit of a piggy bank. It allows you to kind of handle some of those losses. Now, again, you have to still keep those losses under control. But with 0 day, the adjustments, just the potential for adjustments, it's not really there, because even if I go to SPX, and right now, the market is closed, so we should be opening up in about 20 minutes. But when you start building out these iron condors, and let's just build one out real quick here. Let's see, I've got the shifting market here, so prices are going to be all over the place. Here we go. So we've got something like this. We've got an iron condor, but there's not a ton of premium. And then what happens is, even on the range, I've got maybe 10, 20. Well, it's not exactly balanced, because again, the market is just going to open up here. But you might have 30 points on the upside, 40 points on the downside, depending on volatility. But on a longer dated, you'll have much more. So with longer dated, you'll have more premium embedded in there, and it's just more peaceful. But with 0 day, there's not a lot of room for a wiggle and adjust, because here this option contract's $51. On a 30 day, you're going in at $146. So if I go in and start going, let's just go with let's go 155. We start building this iron condor, and I'm going to go 50 wide because that's what's available here for now. We'll see if we can do that. And this one, let's go with 50 wide here. I mean, let's see, this premium is going to be all over. Yeah, it's just not set up right now with the market the way it is. It's let's see if I can fix it and fine tune it. It's not going to be perfect. Okay, so now I've got a little bit more of an iron condor, but look, the premium behind it, I mean, you're looking at this one with a credit of $24, that's $1 credit. Yes, you can loop and repeat the process much more often, but the issue is that, yeah, it's just with the 0 day iron condors, you can repeat that process frequently, but with the longer duration, you've got more premium embedded in there. So my point being here is that there's nothing wrong with 0 day iron condors, but once that iron condor starts going against you on one direction or another on this 0 day, you've got a little bit of an issue, because you're not making a ton of money here on the premium when you're going outside those ranges. So yes, you might be pulling in up $1, maybe 50 cents, maybe 90 cents, depending on how wide your spread is. But you're collecting pennies compared to a 30 day. And again, nothing wrong with that. But what you look at is the adjustment point is you just don't have the room in there, because the time is not available there. That when you have that 6.5 trading hours in a day, by the time you get to, let's say 2 p.m. And the market's here closing at 4 o'clock. Okay. By the time you get there, you only have 2 hours of trading. And with 2 hours of trading, there's not a lot of room to adjust in premium. So you might need to go to the next day to do the trade. But if you're going to the next day, now it's not a 0 day trade. Now it becomes a 1 day or a 3 day or 5 day. And you can use those for adjusting. But what you're really looking at is, okay, I might just adjust the position size on the next trade in order to pay that off. So anyways, hope that helps, gives you a little insight on adjusting these 0 day concepts. I know I wrote quite a few things, but yeah, we do a lot of different stuff like this on our classes and courses. So check them out. Let me know if you're interested in them, and check out our website. Tons of other free videos and trainings in there, and enjoy the day ahead. So thanks for joining me. Truly appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.